Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I hope everybody has been having a good day, a good night so far. As always, there are a couple of Serie A games. There are some cup games and stuff like that, but I'm just gonna avoid those. I'll talk about that later in the video when I go over last video's picks. But there are a couple of Serie A games. Last video had 3. This one has 4. A couple more picks. I know PrizePicks didn't have a lot of props, but Underdog does have a lot of them out. But I'll just get straight into those. And the first one is actually a combo on PrizePicks, and that's a Stankovic and Okoye to go lower than 6 saves combo for the Udinese and Venezia game. First of all, Udinese are a team that, first of all, has been relatively efficient when it comes to their chances. They've averaged 3.1 shots on target so far per game, but they've still been able to score 12 goals to 9. So they've been like I said, they've been relatively efficient when they take their shots, at least the ones on target, which means opposing keepers don't make many saves. In 4 away games, opposing keepers have had 1 save, 2 saves, and then one of them was an outlier in which they had 4 saves. So the opposing keepers just don't get that many saves against them in general. And then Venezia, on the other hand, are a team that are just bad in general in the attack. They're not efficient and they don't even shoot a lot. They average 3.3 shots on target per game, and they have the second worst attack in the league so far, scoring 7 goals in 9 games. And for this prop to hit in general, they would need to be at least 7 shots on target for both sides, and both keepers would have to save every single shot, and I just don't see that happening. I expect a slower game, a more aggressive game, and it's not going to be a tactical game where it's passing and like a brilliant attacking play from both sides. I expect it to be a scrappy game. I expect it to be an aggressive game, and I just don't. First of all, I don't even know if there'll even be 7 shots on target in general, and even if there is, I don't expect both keepers to save every single shot. So I like this. I like a Stankovic Okoye combo to go lower than 6 saves. My next prop is Dusan Vlahovic to go higher than 1.5 shots on target, playing at home for Juventus, going up against Parma. He's averaged 1.45 shots per 90 in the league so far this season. We need to get that second one. He's a versatile striker. So far this season, he's taken 18 with his left, 8 with his right, and 8 headers. And he's also 6'3" and wins 50% of aerial duels. He's also a long shot taker. Over the last 2 seasons, including this season and last season, around 20% of his shots have been from outside the box, so he's not afraid to shoot them. And if he does take them, those could be easy saves or just shots on target for him to be able to take in general. And it's a good matchup for him to exploit. So far in 4 away games that Parma have played, they've allowed 18.5 shots against them, which is really, really high. And the reason for that as well is because they don't hold possession, and Juventus can exploit that, hold more possession, which means more shots for them and more chance for Vlahovic to be able to get these shots on target. They also can't defend long shots, so if Vlahovic takes those long shots, again, pretty good chance they'll be on target as well. They're bad on the counters. Dusan Vlahovic is a counter-attack threat, so he can get chances there as well. They're bad in the air. They're bad at aerial duels. Another one where Vlahovic can exploit them as well. He's 6'3", and then they're also bad at defending through balls. Again, that correlates with the counter-attack. They send him through balls. He'll be able to find that space, and he's just going against a bad defensive team. Usually his line is at 1.5, and I'll take it, especially against a bad defensive team. Everything is just there for him to be able to cook this game. So I like this prop. I like Dusan Vlahovic to go higher than 1.5 shots on target. My next prop is Yann Sommer to go lower than 2.5 saves, playing away from home for Inter Milan, going against Empoli. I took him like a week or 2 ago on the under on saves when he played against Young Boys, and he came through for us, and we need Inter and him to come through for us in this game as well. And I like this prop because Empoli in general are just a bad attack. They've averaged 2.6 shots on target from 8.4 total shots, so they don't shoot a lot, and they don't even get that many on target. They might not even get that 3 shots on target, which is why I like this play in general. And Inter's defense has opened up at times, but they tend to be a little better, at least when it comes to not letting them shoot on target against smaller teams. They allow on average 10.3 shots against them away in the league, and that's still not a high number regardless. And they do a relatively good chance. They do relatively good at blocking opponent shots in general. He played in once last season, and he went under in that game. He had 1 save, and then Empoli attacked through counterattacks. And Inter's weakness is through ball, so you could maybe say that they kind of correlate, but even then, like I said, Inter do a really good job at stopping them, and when they take shots, at blocking those shots. And Inter hold more possession while Empoli do not hold possession, which means less opportunities for Empoli to get attacks, which obviously means less chances for Sommer to even get the opportunities to get those saves. And Inter play a 5-back. When they defend, the 2 wingbacks push back, and then they play 3 center mids, which is the reason why they get a lot of block shots. They have 5 defenders, and they have 3 midfielders, so it's really hard for opponents to even be able to get those shots. Even when they do take those shots again, they're blocked, and I'm emphasizing that because I don't know if he'll even have the opportunities to get those 3 saves, because Empoli might not even get those 3 shots on target. They average 2.6 in general, and this might, like I said, this might not a game where they get 3. So I like this prop. I like Yann Sommer to go lower than 2.5 saves. The last prop that I have so far, it's been a lot of saves, a lot of goalie props, and I'm gonna do it again, but I still like the prop regardless. And it's Marco Carnesecchi to go lower than 2.5 saves playing at home for Atalanta going against Monza. He's gone under this prop in 4 out of 6 games at home, so that's a 66-67% hit rate, which is pretty good. And Monza are just like Empoli, are another bad attack, if anything, an even worse attack than Empoli, and they're playing away from home in this game. They only average 2.3 shots on target from 6.3 total away shots, and they've still managed to score 10 goals in 9 games. So first of all, they average, I believe, the least shots on target, or if not one of, for sure bottom 3 shots on target taken in general, and if they've still been pretty relatively efficient. So again, good chance that he doesn't even get those 3. Monza doesn't get the 3 shots on target. And if they do, good chance they can score one of them. And Monza can't keep possession, and Atalanta does, which again means less opportunities for Monza to take those shots and less opportunities for Marco to get those saves. And Monza, their real, I guess, main strength that they really have is aerial duels, but Atalanta is good at those too, so they cancel out. Atalanta can cancel out Monza's best asset, I guess you can say, and they only allow 9.5 shots on average at home. And just like Inter, they also play a 5-back with the 2 overlapping fullbacks playing back, and they play 2 midfielders there to defend. And even Retegui, who's a striker, also helps back on defense when it comes to intercepting the balls, and even when they don't have the ball, he helps and kind of pushes back. So they have a lot of defensive help, which is why he's gone under so many times and why Atalanta don't even concede that many shots. He played him twice last season, or Atalanta against him last season went under in both games. He played them when he played away, he went under with 1, and then Musso was the keeper for the home game for Atalanta, and he still went under with 2 as well. And like I mentioned, Monza might not even get those 3 shots on target for him to get the opportunities. It's just a bad attacking side. Atalanta has been relatively good when it comes to how many shots they allow in general. And Monza, they do get the shots. They are relatively efficient, so I like this prop. I like Marco Carnesecchi to go lower than 2.5 saves. As always, before I get into the money lines, if you guys could like the video and comment as well to help the video get boosted out to more people. It doesn't matter what you say. It could just be anything. It could be a question. It could be whatever. Just anything that you guys do helps, as well as subscribing, turning on notifications. And then for the player props, I have Underdog and PrizePicks, both linked in the description. And for money lines, I have Fliff, and I also have my Cashapp if you want to feel generous and want to donate there. But I really want to thank anybody who supports me in any way. When it comes to money lines, I just found one that I like. I'm gonna stop doing the little sticks for a little bit. I'll explain that after, when I will go over the picks. But the one money line play that I like is the Atalanta -1.5 at home going up against Monza. You can currently get this at -135. Atalanta is the best attacking team in the league so far. They have the best attack. They scored 16 goals in 4 home games. So they're averaging 4 goals scored a game, and they're going up against a horrible Monza attack that could maybe score 1, but likely not. For sure, don't score 2. Might not even score 1. And Monza has scored 5 goals in 4 away games, so they average a little over 1. But 3 of those were against Hellas Verona. So if you don't count that, that's 2 goals in 3 away games. So even then, like I said, they're just not a good attacking team. They have conceded 4 goals in 4 games, which you might think is a good defense away from home. But those the goals that they've conceded were against big teams. They didn't concede in 2 of them, which were against smaller teams, but they conceded 2 to Napoli and 2 to Fiorentina. So if they can score 2, then Atalanta can for sure score 2, if not more. Like I mentioned before, they're averaging 4 goals scored at home. They just tend to struggle against big teams in general. Atalanta beat them at home 3-0 last season, so this hit at home. And like I mentioned, they struggle against big teams. So you look at last season, some of the big teams they've played. They lost 2-0 to Juventus, 2-1 to Fiorentina, 4-2 to Napoli, 4-1 to Roma, 5-1 to Inter Milan. So they just tend to struggle against these bigger teams, which is good. And again, I like the fact that Atalanta is a really good team, attacking team. They can score a lot of goals, and Monza struggle in the attack and struggle to defend against these big teams. So far at home, Atalanta have 3 wins and 1 draw. They've been doing pretty good. It's just a good matchup. Atalanta create a lot of chances. They hold more possession than Monza, so I think it's a good matchup to take here. They score a lot of goals. I like the matchup. I like Atalanta -1.5 going up against Monza. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over last video's picks. Player prop wise, we did pretty good. It was a 3-1 day. Our only miss was Banda higher than 2 shots. He played much more as a playmaker as opposed to being able to shoot the ball. And it did take an early lead, so I don't blame him too much. Obviously, I still think he should have easily got that shot, but he missed. But the other 3 player props all hit Freuler, higher on passes, 64.5. He hit pretty easy. They had a lot of possession even when they took the lead. Piccoli higher than 2.5 shots. If he took the bump at 3, like I said, he still pushed, hitting it with 3, so we still hit that at 2.5. And then Duda higher than 0.5 shots was free. He had 2 within halftime, so 3-1 when it comes to player props. And then money line wise, was 1-1 on that. The slip was the one that missed. Leipzig and Stuttgart came through, but Brentford on the other hand, they were winning and then they conceded and they went to penalties and ended in the draw, so which was unfortunate. The slips just really hasn't been doing that good. I know a week ago or something we were doing really good, but I guess I'm gonna just not do a slip because I don't like any in the Serie A. And when it comes to the cup games, is a lot harder to predict because they play a lot of the bench players. We were close on it, but Brentford just couldn't come through. And then we had both teams to score for the Cagliari and Bologna game. Bologna scored 2. Cagliari did not score. They should have scored. I believe the opposing keeper had like 3 or 4 saves, and he had the man of the match for the whole game. So they were just unfortunate not to score. We haven't been doing that great on money line, so I'm only giving one. It's one I like. Gonna avoid the cup games and stuff like that. So hopefully we can pick it up on money lines. Been doing really pretty well when it comes to the player props. Again, hopefully we can carry that momentum and do a lot better. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.